this is John for MTG Nexus coming at you with another Pioneer Quick Hits. This is a somewhat daily deck tech and match played by decks that interest me in the Pioneer and Modern format, alternating whenever the videos go up. One's Pioneer, then Modern, Pioneer, then Modern. This one is a Izzet Prowess deck in the Pioneer format as opposed to Modern. And let's take a look at this list to see how it differs from its Modern cousin. So, obviously, Prowess deck, gotta have Prowess creatures, right? Monastery, Swiftspear, Soulscar Mage, Sprite Dragon, and Stormwing Entity. Nothing new to those who play this deck in the Modern format. One thing that is different is the addition of Stormchaser Mage as an additional threat. You don't have something like Kill and Fiend, so you need another threat to kind of close out the games, and you're also not playing a ton of burn spells. This one's opting for 4 Shock and 4 Wizard's Lightning. Obviously this could be Wild Slash if you happen to have them. And then, as far as an additional removal spell, you have 4 copies of Unsummon, which helps get problematic creatures out of the way, tempo your opponent a little bit. And then you have a variety of different spells. Somewhat Sprint here gives a creature +2/+1 in haste until end of turn. You also get a Scry. Dino Charge gives a creature you get +2/+0, and if you overload it, all your creatures get +2/+0. And then you have Crash Through, which is a cantrip and gives all your creatures trample. All of this, once again, very good with all your creatures having prowess. And then 3 copies of Light Up the Stage to also have additional looks at cards. 18 lands, obviously no shock lands, or no fetch lands in the Pioneer format. So you're playing a whole pile of the duels, Steam Vents, Spire Bluff Canals, Shivan Reefs, trying to maximize your ability to have enough mana. Sideboard, you have a couple Narsets for some of the grindier mid-range matchups, a couple Kozilek's Returns for smaller creature decks, 1 copy of Narset's Reversal, which is kind of an interesting one, especially if you can hit like a discard spell like a Thought Erasure or a Thoughtseize, 2 copies of Abrade when you need a little bit more interaction with creatures. Also, Shatter Effect in a pinch. You don't have anything like Chalice in the format, but it's still nice to have that kind of effect. 1 copy of Aether Gust for other opposing red decks. 2 copies of Spell Pierce and a Swan Song for other decks that are trying to interact with what you're doing or your ability to interact with what your opponent's doing. 2 copies of Dive Down, keep your creatures from dying, and then 2 copies of Reckless Rage when you need even more removal spells. So that said, let us jump into the 2-man queue and do a match with this deck and see how it goes. Back for the match. We are on the play. Nope, we're on the draw here. Hand's alright, although it only has 1 threat. I still think it's a keep, though. Stitcher Supplier, so we're up against... looks like... one of the various Rakdos Graveyard decks. Keezy, that's just gotta die. We really need to find another land, especially one that doesn't deal less damage here. Problem is we don't really have a whole lot for the graveyard, huh? That'll be an annoying one. Sure. Deck I'm becoming very familiar with between the historic format and the Pioneer format. Swing here. Light up the stage. So annoying, right? Guess I play Stormwing Entity and kind of hope. Yep. Okay. Put us to 8. If they have another fatal push here, we're kind of screwed. So it's effectively 5 damage, 5 plus 7, 11. They have a removal spell. They have a removal spell. I'm willing to die to Crocs on that case. We're not winning just by sitting back this game, so. Seems pretty clear that they have a push, or we're at least putting it in my mind. Alright, so we basically have nothing for graveyard shenanigans. Feels not good. Problem is, they're a creature deck that also has discard spells, that also has removal spells. So Reckless Rage, maybe Kozilek's Return. Cut those. A little bit more interactive and pretty much died at Croxa. Lands, got a mulligan. It's more like to 5. Shock is a card I'm interested in here. Nice-ish. Not the ideal target, but we have a reason for it at least. The opt on top. Yep. Isn't even playing anything out, is there? One thing I will say in this format, Storming Entity is a lot harder to cast. Hopefully your last card's not Karaksa. Prowess just seems like a terrible card in this matchup. Sure. Don't think either one of those particularly accomplished much. Yep, here comes Croc's Claws back. Oh, terrific. Yeah, we're dead. Well, kind of an inauspicious match for this deck, but, you know, one thing I will say, like, that deck in a lot of ways plays out almost like a lower to the ground Jund deck, having faced the Red Belt Black Pyromancer deck a lot in both Historic and Pioneer now. It's just like does the thing and kind of devastates like decks like what we're playing, especially if you can't answer Dreadhorde Arcanist pretty quickly. And the one thing that's kind of funny about the red decks in this format as opposed to, you know, Modern, where you have like a lot of bolt effects, you know, bolts, Searing Blaze, etc. A lot of the bolt effects in this format are more 2 damage spells, so that 3 toughness actually is quite relevant. And you know, the one thing about this version is it's a lot less. You know, there's a lot less cantripping, a lot less card advantage, a lot less. You know, churning through your deck, and if you don't hit it in your first couple waves, you just kind of get destroyed there. And when your opponent can go removal spell, pick you apart, removal spell, it's just really hard, especially in this format, to kind of recoup that card advantage. So, you know, I'm sure the deck is very powerful and fun to play, but that was just a very bad matchup for the deck. So, this has been John for MTG Nexus with a quick hits of Blue-Red Prowess in Pioneer.